Greetings and salutations! This is Jason Silverain. I'm continuing on with Witches and Warlocks. It's the witching hour of the 25th. It took me a moment to remember what the heck I was doing or where I was, but I'm going to be making more potions. I definitely think we need more of these to learn the spells in the game, and I notice you do need them for the cutscenes, so making sure I've got a nice stock of them at all times is probably vital. So I'm going to go with blue, pink and red. And with 0 gave me double the amount I need. That should do. Lovely.
Da-dee-da.
Got no money, da-dee-da. Got bad grades, so please come to my aids. I swoop around the corner just to catch Damien sitting near the stairs. What do I do now?
Phew.
Almost finished.
Just one more.
Around the knee.
Damien!
Hiya.
Ah,
Whoa. I open my palms like a baseball catcher, half expecting one of their eyes to pop out in surprise. Thankfully everything stays put this time.
please don't.
Sneak up on me like that. Sorry, I didn't know you were so focused.
But
What are you doing? I heard a whoop. To imitate the sound, I zip out my arms in a long, exaggerated stance. Again, sorry. Had a small sneeze there.
oh,
Oh, that was... Damien moves aside to reveal a disembodied human leg, a needle and a thread moving on its own to stitch up a cut just below the... Wait, hold on. Moving on its own?
wow.
Damien, you never told me you could do magic.
Oh,
Oh, that's...
it's nothing special.
It's just an enchantment my maker taught me, nothing special.
Well,
Hey, it's still more than I can do.
it's a magic spell.
No, really, it's nothing special, just a stitch spell.
I could teach you.
To do it too. I mean, if you want, that is.
Thank you.
Really? Yes, thank you, Damien.
But
If this was... Sorry, but if this was from someone who was causing you problems, you know you can talk to me, right?
huh?
Problems? I gesture at the detached leg, which is obviously not in a great shape.
Like,
If someone did this to you, they're definitely hearing from me.
it's not like that.
Oh my gosh, no, it's not like that at all. Some of the parts I get from Mr. West at the human shop are just a bit,
You see,
bargain quality, you see. Damien fidgets trying to find a way to convey their meaning without saying a bad word about Mr. West.
oh, you mean,
Oh, so you mean they're all worn and bandaged up as this guy?
yes.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Um,
Naturally sourced can imply a lot of things.
anyway,
Just, watch this. Damien recollects a needle from the leg and threads it. Remove a small pink vial from their ribcage and dip the end of the liquid, end of the thread in the liquid, murmuring an incantation. I think I've heard this somewhere. Perhaps in class once before I fell asleep. Almost instantly, the needle leaps from Damien's fingertips and begins stitching on. Oh, sorry. Begins working on stitching a shorter cut above the knee.
wow.
Whoa, Damien, that's amazing.
Let me try.
Let me try. Yeah,
Sure.
of course. I didn't even have to do that one, did I? Oh, excuse me. Sure, I brought some hands that need some stitching. There's an extra vial of ichor in the bag too. You can... I swoop over to said bag. Try on those. I'm glad you're so enthusiastic.
After all,
Why wouldn't I be? You're an awesome teacher. They look a little flustered by my last remark.
watch closely, please.
I'll try to teach you how to cast Stitch. New spell acquired.
Stitch!
So I just hold it like this and Stitch! Following Damien's example, I make the wound to begin to stitch itself back up.
Damien!
I'm doing it! It's working perfectly. It's... The fingers suddenly start moving and the hand springs up at me.
Ah! Be careful.
Word to word, Damien, my sweet, shy little Damien, charges forward like my valiant knight. They smack down that nasty palm as if it was an insect or a rolled up newspaper from the table nearby. The hand collapses.
Are you alright?
You have to be careful of the I was supposed to say incantation. I'm pretty sure that's not spelled without intonation, maybe, of animated spells, or you may end up raising something. Noted.
But...
Sorry, I'll be extra careful from now on, but I jump at Damien and pull him into a hug.
Wow!
That was really cool, Damien, the way you went flying with your magic newspaper.
Thank you!
For saving me.
You're welcome. But...
There really wasn't much of it. My maker, he'd just do that whenever my spells got out of control, so... What's wrong?
It's nothing.
But I think that concludes our lesson for the day. I think it concluded when the hand died back there. Damien tenses up at the word died. I'm kind of curious, but my people's skills tell me they aren't ready to talk about it, so I bite my tongue and push back my usual nightshade ways for them.
Anyway...
Thank you for the lesson, Damien. Damien doesn't seem to hear me, like I lost in thought, and so in an effort to give my dear friend some space, I see myself out.
Maybe...
Another time, then. Oh. Again, I always get caught off guard by those like little black gaps between the things. And I won't lie, I did kind of have to suppress a few yawns there. It's one of those days, unfortunately. Alright, let's learn some spells. Now, I was thinking... Oh, I've already kind of got a scent effect. I don't really need that one. I mean, I've got telekinesis, whale... I mean, I really need some movement, but... Night creature seems like a fun one we could go for. I'm telling you, The Zombie's Heart is the author's magnum opus. A finer story has never been made in the history of forever.
No!
And I'm telling you that it's a load of rubbish. Do we even read the same book? Excuse me, folks, could you perhaps help me? We both look up when the elderly gentleman interrupts our debate, which I was totally right about, gesturing towards a hole in the scripture on the top shelf.
Of course.
My dear. I immediately turned to pick up a step stool from behind the counter.
Alright!
Here, let me.
I can do it.
There's no need. My adorable little servants will fetch it for me. Carmilla pucks her lips and lets out a soft whistle. Instantly, a small group of chittering bats swoop from the tops of the rafters and gather around her, gleefully spinning, and that is an absolutely adorable picture. She gestures towards the sculpture, and the cluster falls upon it in a swarm. They pick up the heavy stone between their claws and carry it down into Camilla's waiting hands.
Here you go.
Thank you, long lady. As he receives the product, he gives us both a small nod before continuing to browse the store's selection.
Wow!
Whoa, Camilla, that was amazing. I stare in awe at Camilla's little posse of bats while they flap around her. One even lands on her shoulder, nuzzling against her cheek. In response, she effectively pecks at the top of its head. She's like a spooky Cinderella.
Right.
Adorable darlings, no? I love hearing them mill about. Can you talk to them?
Yes.
Indeed I can. It's an inherent skill. We vampires have been able to communicate with creatures at night.
You know?
Essentially, anything that creeps, crawls, or flaps is a close ally. She presses her index finger to her lips and winks.
Wow!
Well, I didn't see your eyes glow this time. Are you not controlling them?
Not at all.
Wow, I would never control a friend.
At any rate.
These are simple creatures that, if treated with kindness, will aid us in our daily lives, as well as dangerous situations. You called them your servants.
No.
For oomph, my dear.
Now,
This particular family of bats has been bonded for me for generations. They may as well be of my own blood.
I don't.
We do not subjugate family. Or familia. The bats swarm around her. Sorry, the bats swarm closer around her, putting their heads around her arms and hands for pets. She obliges and gently caresses their black fur.
Well...
Is that something I could learn too?
Maybe.
I don't see why not. That is assuming I feel like teaching you. She smirks and saunters over to my side, lets her words caress my ear. I apologise for slightly and moreover, wrong opinion from earlier, and I may consider your request.
You know?
If only to celebrate your newfound sense of taste. Seriously, over the buck? Ugh. Well, I'm definitely right, but...
Wow.
Wow, suddenly I see the error of my ways and think you were absolutely right. It was complete rubbish.
Right.
Oh, is that so?
Right.
I just don't know how I didn't see it earlier, to be honest.
Please.
As always, you're so much wiser than me and oh so gracious. Please teach me so I can be more like you one day, Lady Camilla. A little overacted, my dear, but I'll take it.
Well,
Though do remember not to demand services just about anyone. We have a delicate balance in our relationship we have to uphold, you see.
now,
If some outsider starts bossing my bats around, I will be obligated to defend them. I would never. I stare at her wide-eyed and hopeful. Perhaps? I mean, you have been the great teacher coming out? Double? Seriously?
Right.
If I didn't have you showing me magic, I don't think I'd ever be able to learn it. You're brilliant in every way imaginable. Camilla barely suppresses a grin. Well, I suppose I can't deny that. I've been the best teacher you've ever had.
I'll teach you.
Alright, little witch, I'll teach you how to cast night creatures. Spell acquired. Her ego fed, Camilla spends the next few hours teaching me how to create potions that can summon and communicate with creatures of the night. We start with a few spiders, then move on to practicing with her bats. Takes up the entire rest of the day at the shop. Still, I barely notice that the time has passed until a customer rushes in at the last minute because, of course, they would. Not like they have any upcoming exams that are sure to spell their impending doom. Excuse me, could you help me reach that skull on top of the shelf?
Of course, my dear.
Go ahead, my dear. Now's the perfect time to try out your new skill.
Night creatures.
With the spell cast, I whistle a small tune for the bats, just as Camilla showed me. A few flutter over, but they don't even have half the enthusiasm they gave her. Bring me the skull! Point upwards to the top shelf. They stare at me unmoving.
Come on!
Sweet adore.
Uh,
Please? Nothing.
please.
Pretty please? Unsure else what to do, I take a few berries from my lunch and offer it to them. The bats sniff them for a moment and hesitatively accept the fruit. I inch towards the shelf, coasting them along, and eventually they manage to grab the skull. But not without almost dropping it on the floor. Thankfully, I stumble forward in the nick of time, catch it, and hand it to the customer.
Right.
Here you go. Thanks. And, don't worry, everyone's new at some point. After paying for the item and leaving a pity tip for me, he exits the shop. Once he's gone, I turn to Camilla with a frown big enough for my bottom lip to jot out. I don't get it. What did I do wrong? Also, if you ever say that to a member of staff, you are an asshole. I've had someone say it to me when there was an error with the tills at my work. Oh, I wanted to slap them. Never say that.
Oh, sweet thing.
Your approach could have been better, but there's no need to take it personally.
Now,
I am more familiar with these bats than you are. After all, you have to build a much greater relationship with them to gain the same kind of trust they and I have. She pets one of the bats for emphasis, smiling down at her companion all the while. I hold out a finger, and in response a single bat flutters and wraps its claws around the middle of it and then hangs upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I smile to myself.
Yes.
Would you have to spend more time together? I mean, it's understandable. Kind of makes sense.